Would you like to get your voicemail messages returned every time? If you would, I've got the answer for you on this episode of The Dave Lorenzo Daily. Hi, it's Dave Lorenzo, and today we're talking about voicemail messages. I know. The sales gurus out there will tell you never leave a voicemail message if you're cold calling people, or they'll tell you to leave a provocative or interesting voicemail message in a very upbeat tone of voice. I have a different approach when it comes to leaving voicemail messages, and I'll tell you what that approach is in a moment. But first, I've got to explain to you the entire process I put in place before I ever think about picking up the phone and calling someone. I don't believe that relationships can be effectively and efficiently developed through cold calling. You can use cold calling for transactional sales, but relationships, long-term relationships for big ticket products and especially B2B services, it's really difficult to make a cold call work for relationship development. So what I do is this. I follow a 5-step process first before I leave the voicemail message. Step number 1 in the 5-step process is I reach out with a direct mail letter. I actually write a snail mail letter and I put it in a regular envelope with a live stamp, and I handwrite the address on the envelope. In that letter, I simply say, "Let's talk." And I introduce myself, I introduce my services, and I say that I want to go over and do a learn at lunch for the executive committee of that person's company and share with them some of the new discoveries my team and I have uncovered in the area of, and I hit an area that's important to them. Now, I need to emphasize here that I've done research and I know what's important to this company ahead of time. And there's a whole other video that you can check out here on my YouTube channel about how to do research and dig in and find out what a company's needs really are. The second step in the process, after I send that direct mail letter, is I follow up with a phone call to the office to find out who that person's assistant is, what their name and phone number is. Now, what I do is I will dial the phone number that I have for the person and I will say, "Hi, my name is Dave Lorenzo. I'm looking for the executive assistant to Mr. Smith." That person will introduce themselves to me and I will say, "I just sent Mr. Smith a letter. I'm hoping you will be on the lookout for it because it contains some important information." This person will say, "Absolutely, I'll be on the lookout for it. I will check and see, when the letter gets there, and I'll review it, and I'll see if it makes sense for Mr. Smith to open it up and to read it." So the second thing I do is I have a conversation with the executive assistant. Now, the executive assistant will pretty much always take your call, and in that case, I just call the executive assistant up to let them know the letter's coming. That's all I do. Step number 3. I follow up with the executive assistant a week after that call to see if she's received the letter. And if she says that the letter is not of interest, or she didn't put the letter on his desk, or she never saw the letter, I say to her, "Okay, here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to send you some more information so that you can be sure and deliver it to Mr. Smith. I think when you review it, it's going to be really important to him. I want to send this additional information to him." And then what I do is I send a copy of my book. Okay, I've written this book, The 60-Second Sale. It's brand new. I put it in a FedEx envelope with a Post-it note with the assistant's name and information on it and say, "Here's the book I mentioned. Please give this to Mr. Smith. And oh, by the way, I've included a second one for you." So in the FedEx package, there are 2 books, one for Mr. Smith and one for the assistant. Now, I wait another week and I call back and I say to the assistant, "I've sent the books to you. Did you give it to Mr. Smith?" She says yes. Then I say to her, "Can you make an appointment for Mr. Smith and I to speak on the phone?" 50% of the time, I get the appointment as a result of this. Now, I know you don't have a book to send, but you can send a special report. You can send a white paper that you've written. You can send important research that your company has done. All of these things are valuable and they add value to the life and the business of Mr. Smith because you've done research on the topic so you know he wants them in advance. So now you've had 2 phone calls with the assistant. You've sent your information. Now it's time for you to reach out. If you haven't gotten an appointment already, it's time for you to reach out and call Mr. Smith directly. So what you're going to do is you're going to call between 7 and 8 a.m. in the morning or between 6 and 7 p.m. at night, and you're going to call Mr. Smith's direct line. Now, if you don't have Mr. Smith's direct line, you can call the main switchboard and ask to speak with Mr. Smith. My experience is half the time they just put you through to his extension, or you can call the assistant's phone number in the hopes that it will roll over to Mr. Smith's phone. When you get a voicemail, here is the message you leave after this entire process that will get returned, okay? The phone rings and you say, Mr. Smith, Lorenzo here, 786-436-1986. I wanted to, you know what? When you call back, just reference the Hammersmith Company. That's the entire voicemail right there, including the stutter, the stammer, or whatever. Here's the thing. When I said the Hammersmith Company in there, you're going to reference a competitor of this particular person with whom you've worked in the past. And the stutter or stammer I put in there, I do that for effect because I want to appear a little vulnerable. I want to appear like a regular person. So you'll notice that I didn't have an upbeat tone of voice. Hey, I got a super duper opportunity for you, Mr. Smith. I'd like you to call me back. My name's Dave Lorenzo and I work for XYZ Widget Company and we have great value to offer. I never did any of that because that message gets deleted before the person even gets a word out of their mouth. As soon as they hear the upbeat tone of voice, people hang up on you. Once again, I will demonstrate it for you. You call, the phone rings, you get the voicemail. Mr. Smith, Lorenzo here, 786-436-1986. I'm calling about, you know what? When you call back, just reference the Hammersmith Company. And then I hang up. The reason this works so well is there's three reasons. I use his name, but because I don't know him personally, I can't go, hey, Bob, how you doing? Or I can't go, Bob Smith, because what if Bob prefers to be called Robert? So I use the proper term, Mr. Smith. Even if I was friends with him, a lot of my friends, when I call him up, I go, hey, Mr. Murphy, how you doing? Or I go, hey, Mr. Smith, how you doing? I call them by their last name just for fun. So I use the proper business term, Mr., Ms. Smith. Then I only say my last name, and I don't say the company I'm calling from because the company is my name as well. So I just say Lorenzo here, and then I say this phone number very, very slowly so they can get a pen and write it down. My name and the phone number. And then I go, you know what, I want to, just when you call me back, just reference, and then I reference the competitor's name. I do the stammer, I do the stutter, I do the hesitation because I'm human and because I want it to seem like an authentic call because it is. It's not a slick, scripted sales call, right? And then I reference the competitor. And when they call back, they're going to say, hey, it's Smith here. I'm referencing the Hammersmith Company. Oh, Mr. Smith, I'm glad you called me back. I wanted to talk to you about the new sales research that I shared with the Hammersmith Company, and they're using it to improve their overall effectiveness of closing deals. And I'd like to come over and do a Learn at Lunch for your team on this. I sent you some information about it in the mail. I gave it to Janice, your assistant. I simply want to schedule an appointment with you. Oh, okay. Yeah, you can do that. Let's do that right now. That's the way it goes. After all of this, what will happen probably is when Smith gets the message, he's going to go, Lorenzo, and he may have seen the information. He may not have seen the information. He may go out and ask his assistant if she knows who Lorenzo is. That's the process that will get you a call back every time. Now, I want you to do something for me. I want you to use this process. I don't want to hear how it's not going to work. I want you to try this process. And I want you to record yourself trying this process. And I want you to tell me how it goes down in the comments. And we'll answer any questions or objections you have to this script in the comments. Most of the time, people tell me that this process is terrible, it will never work, but they've never tried it. If you try it, it will work every time. I'm Dave Lorenzo, and I'll be back here tomorrow at 5 p.m. with another edition of the Dave Lorenzo Daily. Remember, if you do this, you'll sell more. I'll see you back here tomorrow.